And I'd like to talk about a time where we saved a deal for our client. A lot of times what I see when the attorneys start to negotiate, they typically see things as black and white, yes or no. They never see a gray area. They never see an opportunity to negotiate and find a middle ground. And so at one point we were at a standstill when the buyer of my client's property, their attorney said, we would like to review your financials on a monthly basis. And then the seller's attorney said, no, we don't want to show our financials every month, even though they'd already agreed to show them every 6 months. And neither attorney spoke to each other about why they each wanted what it is they wanted and what they could do with that. So I got on the phone. I asked the buyer's attorney, why is it that you'd like to see the financials every month? And they said, this business hasn't been profitable in 13 years, and they're going to be leasing this building back from us. We want to be able to stay ahead of things. So if we see the financials getting even worse, we'd like to know that so we can be prepared. Then I called the seller's attorney. I said, why are you unwilling to show your financials every month? And they said, well, we don't want the landlord to be able to kick us out of our space if they see the financials getting worse. And I said, well, you realize if you're in default, they can kick you out. But as long as you're paying rent, it doesn't matter how bad your financials are. And it already says that in the lease. I said, how about we put in a redundant clause that just says, by the way, when the new landlord, the buyer of the building, is reviewing your financials on a monthly basis, regardless of what those financials say, they cannot kick you out of your space based upon those financials. They can only kick you out based upon the default clause and other ways that they might be able, that are already agreed upon. So both attorneys said, yeah, that sounds good, but it just baffles me that people don't communicate like that. And that's one example of how many times we will save deals for our clients just by talking things through, understanding what each side is looking to accomplish, why they're looking to accomplish it, and then explaining it to the other side. Very, very simple stuff.